when they deviate from the accepted script. Relief Society should be where we can share our pain honestly, as well as our joy and testimonies. Relief Society sisters get a lot of encouragement to serve others. I'm not too keen on service myself. I like working with people, showing concern for other people, sharing similar interests. When we go serve others, we too often become superior and condescending. We hear reports of people not living up to our standards. Oh, my dear, you would never believe the state that they live in. You may have heard that. We switch from being helpful to being judgmental. I once heard of 3 very eminent sisters who made a solemn pact with each other that in case of accident or trouble, they would race to each other's houses and clean them up before the Relief Society could get there. I don't want someone coming into my house to throw out my treasured items. I don't want anyone to come in and scrub my floors. The only person allowed to scrub my floors is my husband. Despite the Relief Society's universal message, it does not speak to everyone. One young single sister reported this: "Most things in the church are geared toward families. People give talks about families, family home evening. That's why Relief Society and I never clicked. The lessons would be on health habits for your children or disciplining your children. I don't think there's too much emphasis on families, but they could put a little more on individuals. I'm not in the mainstream. When you're single, you have to accept that in our church, you're going to hear a lot about families." That's a message to listen to. Single women felt greater inclusion after Sherry Dew entered the general presidency of the Relief Society in the 1990s. Dew's charismatic talks rallied singles to the organization as never before. Dew taught that a successful career woman, self-supporting and devoted to the church, while questioning her single state and thwarted motherhood in public speeches, could spin her remarks by redefining her categories, regarding all women, even those who had borne no children, as natural mothers. Motherhood is more than bearing children. It is the essence of who we are as women, she said. Some of us then must simply find other ways to mother. Defining every woman as a mother is a matter of style. Women who are in tune with this preferred style can justify most behaviors. So, Mormon women are strong and effective. They are great achievers in education and professional life, and they do the lion's share of church work. Mormon women, feminists all, exercise leadership roles in the community and in business, developing their talents. Issue the 4th. What can women hope for from the church? We should come to church to worship, to sing, to take the sacrament, and renew our covenants. Everything after that is gravy. We do want to help the leadership make the best use of female talent for building the kingdom. Women know what they can do, and sometimes they can help the leaders, if they suggest it in the right tone of voice, find some ways to use that talent. Again, the benefit of the proper style. Women should realize that the church is a great enabler, not a hindrance. The church provides a wonderfully welcoming arena for working out our own ideas and building our talents as we seek for and follow our own revelation. As women, we must have dreams, and we must follow them. We must stuff our heads with knowledge. If there is anything that we really, really want to do, we have to figure out a way to do it. What is the proof of the pudding? What is our reward for supporting the cause? Access to divine channels, contentment, productivity, continuity, connection, significance, and best of all, a crowded funeral and a great send-off. This is not to say that improvements in the women's sphere cannot be made. Just for starters, here are a few. A better program for girls that compares in quality to boys' programs. Better facilities and meeting times for our neglected young mothers, the most honored and worst treated group in the church. Let's divide our Relief Society classes by age, as priesthood classes are. Let's have calls to engage in civic work. Let's return to our roots and have additional cultural programs. And finally, let's work toward a broader view. Those are my issues today. The need for an LDS female world, the need to take our lives seriously, the recognition that we are all feminists, and the need to help create our own church lives. While I was working on this talk, the international head of the YWCA visited Salt Lake. As I read about her views, I was struck by how insular, how middle class, how pedestrian the concerns I've been talking about seemed. She stressed the problems of women and families around the world, including violence, teen pregnancy, HIV/AIDS, and poverty. As Musimbi Kanyoro toured the church's Welfare Square, Family Library, Humanitarian Center, she said she was impressed by the church's efforts to provide emergency services to those around the world, but said that the real solution was to end wars and violence. Her thoughts confirmed my own predilection toward pacifism. How can we help the people of the world if we promote the terrible warfare that is going on today? Like the Relief Society leaders, she said, every woman has the potential to be a leader, and good leaders have the potential to change lives and better societies. This is advice that we could well take to heart. We must act in our communities and in the world, trying to make ourselves instruments for good. LDS women have done much good in the past and will continue to be agents for good in the future. Thank you.